Are ghosts real? What do you believe? What has been your experience? We see that the culture and many cultures do believe this, that ghosts have been a part of human experience as far as anyone can remember. You see it in many different religions throughout the world. You even see it in cultures that were completely isolated from other people, that they would have these different encounters, that these realities were real for them. We even see this in our popular culture. In fact, I want to begin a series talking about Hollywood and Purgatory because recently there have been several movies and series that talk about ghosts and show surprisingly Catholic aspects about it, even though the people that made it were not Catholic. So this brings us to the question to ask, what does the church teach? Interestingly enough, the church says very little about it. The church says also very little about purgatory. And when you read what different people say, you hear sometimes differing opinions. Some sort of think it's an issue that we shouldn't even consider, some think it's just the devil, and others really give a more nuanced approach. But I think it's something that we should consider. Let me give you a few reasons. First of all, God allows it. And if God is allowing it, we need to ask ourselves, are we listening to what God is saying? Secondly, what are the consequences of us not listening? Are we missing out on a potential treasure? You often find this in the church, that they stop talking about certain things and the culture picks it up. You see this a lot with the New Age movement, that it came out at a time when the church stopped talking about spirituality and deep spiritual things. In fact, this happened in my own family. I'm from El Salvador, and down there, when the church only focused on social issues and not on spirituality, my grandmother essentially became Hindu because she was searching for something more. So when we hear of so many people having encounters with ghosts, with hauntings, what can we believe as Catholics? There's many good resources out there. Many other people have already explored this topic. Two that I would recommend: Adam Bly, Father Chris Alar. There's also an amazing article by U.S. Catholic that talks about the tension of this question, the reality that it's not an answered question, but we need to step into that in between and give our experience. So this is what I've come to believe. Ghosts are souls in purgatory. For many years, I didn't even consider it, but at some point it clicked. They're souls in purgatory and they're asking for help. And because they're still caught up in sin, because they're still in need of purification, they can often be scary. They can do things that are a little bit unsettling. However, it's very different than a demonic presence. Adam Bly says that a demonic presence usually is destructive, if not always destructive in some way. Whereas if you really pay attention to the signs that a ghost is leaving, usually it's not harmful at all. It's maybe a bump or a noise or a groaning or a moaning, something that on its own you realize it cannot harm you. They're simply trying to communicate to us to ask for help. That's something that he's very clear on, that they know that we're not supposed to communicate with them further, seeking information about the future, which is the specific thing that the church forbids, by the way. It does not forbid us having communion with the saints or the souls in purgatory. It forbids us in trying to invoke them through necromancy to obtain power or information about the future. That's the specific thing that the church forbids. A video by Father Chris Alar that I will post right here gives some clear answers on this for those of you that are confused. So they are calling to us. They need our help. And sometimes by calling them ghosts, by pushing them off to the side, we are sinning against charity. It says somewhere in the scriptures that charity and love believes all things. And what it means is, if something is true, if something is real, we need to believe it, because when we don't, someone is being hurt. In the case of ghosts, if they're asking for prayers, if they're asking for masses, and we ignore them, we are allowing them to suffer longer than they need to. Now, ghosts can be an amazing opportunity for evangelization. Because the church doesn't talk about it, because people are afraid of it, because priests don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole sometimes, because they're afraid and often untrained, that's just the reality of it. They go and create beliefs and seek out mediums and do harmful things because we fail to speak up. So we need to be able to say, hey, you know what a ghost is? A ghost is a soul in purgatory that is asking for prayers. You know the types of prayers that they need? The Mass, the Rosary, and we as Catholics have that. Come to the Catholic Church. Can you imagine the opportunity that we're missing? This thing that half of Americans believe in, and even Hollywood makes million-dollar movies about ghosts because in some ways it believes in them. We can add our Catholic voice. We can see this seed that is present out there in the world and say, you know what that is? That is a soul in purgatory, and Catholics teach about it. My friends, I really feel that the souls in purgatory want me to be their voice. And what they want to tell you is this: all those hauntings and all those ghosts out there are real people that need your help. And instead of being scared of them and ignoring them, we need to help them with masses. We need to go there and pray, and we need to stop being afraid. We should be afraid of sinning. We should be afraid of the devil and stay away from all that evil. But these are not evil people. They are simply being purified from their sins. My friends, don't lose this opportunity. They're calling to us. The souls in purgatory need our help, and they do all types of things to get our attention. God is allowing it. Are you listening to what God is allowing? My friends, God bless, and I will see you in the next one.